Imagine this. You're on a date with a woman who seems to check every box. The conversation flows effortlessly. You're making her laugh, that deep, genuine laugh that reaches her eyes, and you feel that rare, electric spark of connection. You leave the date feeling like you're on top of the world, already replaying the highlights in your mind and planning the next one. The first few texts are great, full of energy and inside jokes. Then the silence begins. Her replies, which were once instant and enthusiastic, now take hours, sometimes even a day. They become shorter, more formal. The warmth is gone, replaced by a chillingly polite distance. You're left staring at your phone, a knot of confusion and anxiety tightening in your stomach. What did I do wrong? Was it something I said? Did I come on too strong? Did she meet someone else? Your mind races, a relentless slideshow of every possible mistake you could have made. This agonizing mental replay is a self-inflicted torture that nearly every man has experienced. It's a brutal fall from the high of a great connection to the cold, hard ground of uncertainty. Most men in this situation react instinctively, driven by a fear of loss, and in doing so, they unknowingly hammer the final nails into the coffin of attraction. They commit a series of predictable, attraction-killing mistakes that not only fail to re-engage her but actually solidify her decision to pull away. But today, this cycle ends for you. I'm going to give you the exact counterintuitive playbook for what to do when a woman goes cold. This isn't about manipulative games or cheesy pickup lines. This is about understanding the deep, psychological undercurrents of attraction and using them to your advantage. Not by chasing her, but by making her want to come back to you, more intrigued and attracted than she was before. We're going to dismantle the common disastrous responses and replace them with a powerful, high-value mindset that will not only resolve this specific situation, but will fundamentally change how you approach dating and relationships forever. By the end of this, you won't just know how to handle it when a woman pulls back. You'll become the kind of man who rarely has to, because your inherent confidence and self-possession will be so magnetic that women will be afraid to lose you. So put your phone down. Stop rereading those old texts and listen closely, because what I'm about to share with you is the key to turning this frustrating and confusing experience into an opportunity to demonstrate your highest value and reignite the spark you thought was gone for good. First, let's dissect the very nature of why women pull back, because understanding the why is the foundation upon which your effective response will be built. It's rarely as simple as, she's not interested anymore. Often it's a complex interplay of factors, and your ability to navigate this ambiguity without panicking is paramount. One of the most common yet misunderstood reasons is what many refer to as a test. Now, let's be clear. This isn't a conscious, malicious game she's playing. It's an instinctive, subconscious screening process. She's gauging your emotional strength and resilience. When things are going perfectly, it's easy for any man to be charming, confident, and fun. But what happens when a little friction is introduced? Do you crumble? Do you become needy and insecure? Or do you remain centered and unfazed? Think of it as a subconscious stress test for your emotional fortitude. She's not trying to hurt you. She's trying to see if you are a rock she can depend on, or sand that will shift and give way under the slightest pressure. Your reaction to her distance is a massive indicator of your overall emotional maturity and stability. Another significant reason, and one that men often overlook because their egos get in the way, is that her pulling back might have absolutely nothing to do with you. Her world does not revolve around you, especially in the early stages of dating. She might be under immense pressure at work, dealing with a family crisis, struggling with her own personal insecurities, or simply feeling emotionally drained and in need of solitude to recharge. Life is messy and unpredictable. She might be a whirlwind of stress and anxiety, and she doesn't have the emotional bandwidth to maintain the same level of communication. The problem is our brains are wired to personalize rejection. We immediately assume we are the cause of the change in her behavior. This self-centered perspective is not only often wrong, but it also leads to the disastrous reactions we're about to cover. Whether it's a subconscious test of your strength, a reflection of her own internal struggles, or a genuine waning of interest, the correct response from you is, remarkably, the same in all of these scenarios. Your calm, centered, and high-value response will either pass her test, give her the space she needs to resolve her own issues and come back to you, or gracefully and with your dignity intact, allow you to move on if she is genuinely no longer interested. The wrong response, however, will fail the test. Overwhelm her if she's stressed, and confirm her decision if she was already on the fence. Now, Let's illuminate the minefield of common mistakes that 99% of men stumble into when they feel a woman pulling away. These are the reactions that feel intuitive but are, in reality, attraction killers. The first and most prevalent mistake is what I call over-investing in the chase. The moment you sense her distance, a panic sets in, and your immediate instinct is to close that gap. You start texting more frequently, sending longer messages, asking questions like, "Is everything okay?" Or the dreaded, "Did I do something wrong?" You might try to lock down the next date with more urgency, or even resort to grand gestures to win her back. Here's the psychological poison of this approach. You are communicating neediness and a lack of self-control. Your frantic attempts to regain her attention are screaming, "My emotional state is dependent on your validation." This immediately flips the script. Instead of being the prize that she was excited to win over, you become the eager pursuer, and she, the one being pursued, instinctively pulls back even further. Chasing signals a lower value. Think about it. We rarely chase things that are abundant and easily attainable. We chase things that are scarce and of high value. By chasing her, you are subconsciously telling her that your value is lower than hers. The second major blunder is falling into the investigator trap. Your mind becomes a frantic detective, replaying every single interaction, scrutinizing every word, every emoji, every pause in conversation. You torture yourself with a never-ending loop of what-ifs and should-haves. This obsessive analysis does nothing but fuel your own anxiety and insecurity. It puts you in a state of mental turmoil that is palpable. Women are incredibly intuitive and have a finely tuned radar for a man's emotional state. They can sense your anxiety, your overthinking, and your lack of inner peace, and it is profoundly unattractive. It reeks of desperation and a lack of a fulfilling life outside of her. Your internal chaos will inevitably bleed into your interactions, making you come across as insecure and mentally weak. The third, and perhaps the most self-destructive mistake, is losing your center. This is when your entire life begins to revolve around her and the problem of her distance. You stop going to the gym, you neglect your work or your hobbies, you flake on plans with your friends, all because your mental and emotional energy is completely consumed by this one woman. You essentially put your life on hold, waiting for her to give you the green light to be happy again. This is the ultimate act of self-abandonment. The very qualities that likely attracted her to you in the first place, your passion for your hobbies, your ambition in your career, your strong social circle, your independent spirit, are the first things you sacrifice at the altar of your anxiety. When you lose yourself, you lose the very foundation of your attractiveness. You become a hollowed-out version of the man she was initially drawn to, and this only serves to justify her decision to pull away. Avoiding these three traps is the first and most critical step in navigating this situation with power and grace. So, if chasing, overthinking, and losing yourself are the paths to failure, what is the path to success? It lies in a series of counterintuitive, yet profoundly effective actions that are rooted in emotional discipline and a high-value mindset. The first and most crucial is to do nothing. That's right. When you feel her pull away, your first move is to not move at all. Do not bombard her with texts. Do not call her asking what's wrong. Do not post passive-aggressive quotes on social media. You simply mirror her behavior. If she takes 5 hours to respond to your text, you take 5 hours, or even longer, to respond to hers. If her responses are short and concise, yours are too. This is not about playing games. It's about demonstrating that you are not reactive. It shows that your emotional state is not tethered to her communication patterns. You are the calm in the eye of the storm. By refusing to react impulsively, you immediately differentiate yourself from the vast majority of men she has encountered. You are communicating through your inaction that you are unfazed, that you have a life of your own, and that you are not desperate for her approval. This calm composure is incredibly powerful and, paradoxically, often the very thing that will make her start to question her own distance. The second step is to aggressively and unapologetically refocus on your own life. This is not about pretending to be busy. It's about actually being busy building your empire, whatever that may be. Double down on your workouts at the gym. Put in extra hours on that project at work that you're passionate about. Reconnect with those friends you haven't seen in a while. Pick up that guitar that's been gathering dust in the corner. Immerse yourself so completely in your own purpose and your own sources of happiness that you genuinely have less time and mental energy to obsess over her. There's a powerful concept in the book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dida, where he emphasizes that a man's purpose must be his number one priority. A woman can feel when a man is unmoored from his purpose and has made her the center of his universe. It feels heavy and creates a sense of pressure that is deeply unattractive. When you are anchored to your mission, you project an aura of strength, stability, and ambition that is irresistible. Your life is an exciting journey, and she is welcome to be a part of it. But the journey will continue, with or without her. This mindset is the ultimate source of masculine attractiveness. The third action is to subtly, yet clearly, maintain an abundance mentality. This doesn't mean you need to immediately jump on a dating app and start lining up other dates, although you are certainly free to do so. It's more about your internal posture. It's about genuinely understanding that you are a high-value man with options. You live in a world of abundance, not scarcity. You don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially with a woman who is showing you ambiguity. Continue to be social, talk to other women, and keep your social life vibrant. This isn't about trying to make her jealous. It's about reminding yourself of your own worth and not allowing yourself to slip into a mindset of desperation. When you operate from a place of abundance, you are not afraid to lose any single woman because you know that you have the ability to attract other amazing women into your life. This lack of fear, this emotional freedom, is incredibly liberating and makes you infinitely more attractive. You are not her needy subordinate, you are the prize, and you are evaluating whether she is worthy of your time and investment. This brings us to the core concept that underpins this entire strategy: mastering your frame. Your frame is your reality, your perspective, the lens through which you view the world and your interactions. It is the silent, invisible power dynamic that governs every relationship you have. When a woman pulls back, she is, consciously or unconsciously, challenging your frame. A man with a weak frame will immediately crumble. He will allow her mood and her behavior to dictate his reality. He will enter her frame of uncertainty and anxiety. An alpha male, a man with an unshakable frame, does the opposite. He remains firmly planted in his own reality. He is the captain of his own ship, and while he may notice the stormy weather, he does not allow it to throw him off course. He maintains his composure, his confidence, and his direction. Think of a legendary leader like Winston Churchill during the darkest days of World War II. When the world was consumed by fear and chaos, he was a beacon of unwavering strength and resolve. His unshakable frame gave an entire nation the confidence to persevere. That is the kind of energy you need to embody. You are the source of stability. If you panic, if you become needy and reactive, you are essentially telling her, "I am not capable of leading. I cannot handle pressure. You cannot feel safe with me." But when you remain calm, focused on your purpose, and emotionally self-reliant, you are sending a powerful, subconscious message. I am in control. I am a rock. You can trust my strength. She will feel this on a primal level. Your steadfastness becomes a source of comfort and attraction. Her pulling back becomes an opportunity for you to demonstrate your superior emotional strength, to show her that you are not like the other men who have crumbled under her tests. You don't need to say a word. Your actions, or in this case, your strategic inaction, will say everything. You are holding your frame, and in doing so, you are silently inviting her to step back into your world, a world that is stable, exciting, and led by a man who knows his own worth. This is the ultimate power move, and it's what separates the boys from the men. So why is this counterintuitive approach of doing less, not more, so profoundly effective? It all boils down to the psychology of attraction and human desire. When you stop the chase, you flip the script. You are no longer the pursuer. You become the pursued. You reintroduce the element of challenge. Humans are hardwired to value what they have to work for. When you were readily available, constantly texting and always seeking her validation, you were easy. You were a known quantity. The moment you pull back and focus on your own life, you become a mystery. She starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? Most guys would be blowing up my phone right now. What is he doing? Is he with someone else? This curiosity is the seed of renewed attraction. It's the scarcity principle in action. We inherently desire things that are less available. When you give her space, you are creating a void, and her mind will naturally start to fill that void with thoughts of you. She'll remember the good times, the laughter, the connection, and she'll begin to question whether letting you go was the right decision. But here's the beautiful, empowering truth of this entire strategy. Even if she doesn't come back, you still win. And you win big. Because in the process of her pulling away, you didn't self-destruct. You didn't lose your dignity begging for her attention. Instead, you leveled up. You invested in yourself. You got in better shape. You made progress on your goals. You strengthened your friendships. You became a more confident, centered, and attractive man. Your happiness was never contingent on her. You were the architect of your own well-being. So the outcome becomes irrelevant to your own personal growth. If she comes back, she is coming back to an even better version of the man she was initially attracted to. And she will be far less likely to pull away again because she knows you are not afraid to walk away. And if she doesn't come back, it doesn't matter. You have already moved forward. You are stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for the next woman who comes into your life. A woman who will recognize your value and be terrified to lose you. This is the ultimate win-win scenario. You either get the girl or you get better. And in the long run, becoming a better, stronger version of yourself is the only game worth playing. Remember, your job is not to manage her emotions or to fix her feelings. Your job is to be the most attractive, high-value man you can be. Stay calm, focus on your mission, and let her actions reveal her true level of interest. If she's the right woman for you, your strength and composure will draw her back in. If not, you've already won by becoming the man you were always meant to be. If this resonated with you and you're ready to stop making the common mistakes that sabotage your dating life, then make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more no-nonsense advice on how to become the kind of man women can't help but be drawn to. Your journey to becoming a high-value man starts now, and I'll be here to guide you every step of the way.